are we ready? Are we all set up now?
Da 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 brum da 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 dee 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 dee.
That works.
Better than the iPhone.
Somebody has to
Yeah,
somebody's
right?
supposed to talk while I'm doing that and be like, "This is the Alt Tab Me podcast."
This is the Old Happy Podcast. Number 6.
Dun dun
July
dun
30th,
dun dun dun
2012.
dun 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 dun.
Today we're talking about
dun,
the miserableness.
dun, dun, dun,
Someone else take over. Tristan, shut up. Take over.
All right, this is podcast number 6. We are here to talk about what we do not like about Guild Wars 2. Ooh. We figured we would take a different stance this time. We would talk about the things that might turn off a new player to the game and explain to them why they're wrong. Oh, well, no, but
Yeah,
seriously,
you're wrong.
that's kind of what we're going with. To be honest, the thing that we don't like about Guild Wars 2 is that it's not out yet. And thank you for watching podcast number 6. This has been alttabme.com, and have a good night.
It's a good podcast.
And just kidding.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Anyway.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, some of the things that you think, some of the things that we think, that players will come across Guild Wars 2 and maybe they won't be very happy about. I think one of the main issues is that there is so much different in Guild Wars 2 that it's not a learning curve, so to say, but it's an adjustment curve. It is trying to get adjusted to what you're looking at, what you're seeing, the new mechanics, and trying to unprogram your brain from what it is used to. I think that's one of the main things that's going to turn people off on this game.
Well, I guess we'll be taking a lot of similarities of what's different between the WoW mentality and the new mentality that people should be having for Guild Wars 2. That seems to envelop about 75% of the complaints that people have with this game. And the other 25 is the new innovation that some people just don't really agree with. So we'll just kind of take it step by step today and try to figure out, talk about the pros and cons of some of these new changes of how some people can really adjust to them.
I think Jen
Right.
brought up a good point. We have some podcast prep before these, and Jen brought up a good point where she was talking about the new mechanic called the dodge mechanic. This is a mechanic where you are fighting a monster or a player, and you can dodge out of their way. And by dodging, you are immune to all attacks for the duration of that dodge. And it's very easy. You can double tap either direction, or you can bind it to a key, and it essentially can save your life. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know is you have to use dodge. You cannot not use dodge. I think that might be very interesting for people because, you can no longer really just play with one hand. You can't just play it with the mouse and be happy. It's more like an FPS game. Yeah, you definitely can't masturbate while looking at your tune and dodge at the same time. Jen, you want to talk about your experience with the dodge mechanic? Yeah, you all thought I was going to say masturbate.
Yeah.
Or masturbation.
That's another podcast. Yeah, the dodge was interesting for me. Since the start of WoW, have always moved with my mouse. And so when I came into the Guild Wars beta, I was a little confused. I automatically went to start using the WASD keys, but I just kept forgetting the dodge was there, and I need to remember it's there. I was able to run out of a lot of mechanics in Guild Wars by just running it out with my mouse, but I noticed there was a few times where I took huge hits because I was not clicking that A twice or whatever, because, you have to use the dodge, but it's really hard for me to get used to that because I'm so used to that WoW way of playing, and I was always able to dodge AoE effects on WoW, in raids and everything else, with just using my mouse, and so now it's like, well, I can't do that. Now it's really hard to get used to, and that might cause a lot of people some stress. It caused me some stress, because I was like, why am I taking these such big hits? I'm moving, but obviously I wasn't correctly moving out of, the charge that the mob did to me or whatever.
Circle strafe.
And it's very...
Yeah. Straight.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of kiting, like in circles, I've noticed, as a caster. And you didn't have to do that in WoW, really. You didn't have to kite really while you were questing.
Well, I don't think you really could
Well,
kite in WoW, because when you aggroed a mob, that mob was going to hit you, and if you kited it, it would go back to where it was from. So it was more like, okay, either I can kill this or I have to run, kill, run, kill, run, kill. It wasn't like I might be able to pull off some crazy run up this hill, jump off the hill, make the mob run around the hill, and then maybe I can throw some fire up on that hill so when he runs through it, my friends combo an arrow through it, and then they fucking kill him, and then maybe he dies, but he died first. I gotta res my friend real quick before the monster gets back down the hill. I res my friend. We both cast fucking Frost Shock. Ah!
Touchdown!
Game! He dropped linen. What the fuck? He totally dropped
Damn you,
linen. Turned a little
Oh,
red
boy.
there.
Oh, boy. Hey.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
That's kind of the
Yeah, it's
combat
pretty
in Guild
hectic.
Wars 2. It can be that fun.
It's pretty hectic, pretty fast, a lot of movement.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
have
it's
to learn how to
fast.
kite.
Like
I-
it's not FPS fast like Quake 2 or something like that.
Oh,
It's-
no.
It's definitely manageable fast. It's so like if you're a little older like my dad and he doesn't like games that are super fast, like what the hell is that game that we've been playing, the FPS that we've been playing that's like really fast?
Blacklight.
Blacklight?
It's not like
Yeah.
that fast. It's like, you can take your time, look at the tree, and then turn to the monster and be like, oh, you're still hitting me. Okay, cool. So...
Exactly.
One thing I do want to bring up, for a lot of the WoW PvPers, this is the mentality I brought into it, coming from WoW PvP to Guild Wars PvP. Think of it as your invulnerable trinket. Use it as if it was an invulnerable trinket. Like, bind it to whatever you had your trinket on and get in the habit of using it more often. That's the mentality I brought into the first beta weekend, and that's how I got myself into training myself for this dodge mechanic. I knew it was going to be huge. I mean, 2-second invulnerability plus a little movement boost, that is huge. You really need to take use of that dodge mechanic and ingrain it into your habits, into your methodology. Do whatever you can to make sure it's a part of your gameplay, or else you're just going to die. Really, plain and simply, you're just going to die if you don't use it.
Just for
As
my
Jen
own
can probably tell you.
Just for my
Or
own
Brian.
clarity, like, how do you
Yeah.
bind dodge? I don't understand that. Like, what happens when you hit the dodge button?
What do you mean?
Like, because
Well,
I'm
I
double
actually
tapping
rebound-
left, or I'm double tapping right or forward or back to
Ugh.
make it dodge back
No.
or forward or left or right. So how do you
Oh,
bind it? What's
yeah.
No.
No.
What I did, originally it was also left control, but that was my voice control, so I had to rebind the dodge, because it was originally left
No,
control
okay,
was the
but
dodge.
what does it do?
Instead of double tapping, whenever movement you have for whatever your movement is, if you're strafing right and you press your dodge button while strafing, you continue your dodge in that direction. Or say if you're strafing
Yeah.
left and then you
Okay.
dodge left, move forward. If you're
Yeah.
moving backwards or standing still, you roll backwards.
I don't know.
So
I get
that's-
some.
yeah.
I get like.
it worked out quite well.
I get like the
So,
visceral
yeah, I found
like
that-
feel out of the double tap. I'm like, yeah, I'm dodging.
I tend to do that by accident a lot, so.
So going with the topic that we are on, which is what do we think will maybe turn people off to Guild Wars 2? Let's continue with the idea that, so you have to circle strafe, you got to dodge, you got to do it's high-paced action. Now let's talk about the weapons. I found that a lot of the combat in Guild Wars 2 is very focused around ranged. This is something that I personally was not used to. I have always played the in-your-face character, and when I played the in-your-face character in Guild Wars 2, I was like, I'm not really a big fan of this. I need some more utility. I need to get the back. I need to be able to pull back from the fight and still be able to do damage. And I think that the classes do that well, but I definitely think that some do it better than others, and I don't know. I feel as though the game definitely leans more towards the ranged classes. Thoughts?
Yeah.
There have been
totally.
Yeah, there have been a lot of discussions on a lot of forums about class balance, yada yada. But the big thing is just melee versus ranged. You'll kind of see it, melee just doesn't seem to get the output because they have to do a lot more maneuverability. They have to be a lot more focused. So it's also a higher player skill that you need on the melee. Where the range, a lot of the range classes, you can kind of just go pew pew pew, just like a typical AFK ranger. Obviously, you need to get your skills down for highest damage, but you have to be a lot more aware with a melee class character. I'd like to think the more skill you put into it, the more you get out of it. That's the mentality I've always hoped for. But you'll see a lot of times, you'll see some raffle stomp character, and we're not talking about balancing or any of that stuff. I mean, it's something that we always have to keep an eye out. You will have to learn more for a melee-based character.
I think
but
maybe
I'd like to think you get more out of it.
I think maybe it's a balance between the idea that when your character is not one or the other. And I think that's something hard for people to understand right off the bat of picking up the game, is that you are going to be put into situations where, yeah, you might be up front hitting the crap out of something, but all of a sudden they switch into a different form, and you're like, oh shit, if I stay here, I'm screwed. And usually what you do in, say, WoW or something like that is you run out of the circle and you stand there for a minute and you wait for them to finish their AoE or whatever the fuck they're doing. But in this game, you are still viable the further you get back, no matter what your class is. So that's something that's that's a learning curve on that one. It's just different.
Yeah.
I went crazy because I was like, wait, I'm a range class, but I'm having to melee here and there too. Like, and then all of a sudden I'm having to go back out range. It's really confusing to a new person. That's because I only played the last beta. I didn't play the other two. So I jumped into this and like, whoa, okay, now I have two different, like I'm not melee, but I'm not ranged. I'm both. Like, what would you call that? It was just, it's hard. Some people won't like that at all. But, you get used to it. I did. You learn what you need to do.
Good summary.
Yeah.
Be all you can be.
Be all you can be.
Oh, now we have cats on.
Yeah,
this.
let's get the
Kitty power.
You add a girl to the
cat
stream, and immediately cats pop into the picture.
Cats appear everywhere. Yes,
happens.
it's ridiculous.
I just pulled a cat out of my area. Oh.
What?
Anyway,
That's what it looked like. I just pulled the cat up out of my crotch.
crotches aside.
Easy woman. Easy woman.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So speaking, I'm gonna stick with the topic of targeting and hitting,
Crotches?
and dodging and stuff like that, and I'm totally ignoring you.
Good.
And I think there's another emphasis on this game that is being missed. You've got games like, and I hate to even put them in the category of games because they're really just crap. But you've got crap like Terra. And the Secret World. But I'm going to focus on Terra for a second because it's got crazy skill-based combat. Okay, so my theory on that is they just disconnected your mouse and they were like, now you got to aim. Ho-ho! But then they were like, but now we got to make the monsters stay still for longer. Anywho, Terra bashing aside, I think that people miss out on a very important feature of Guild Wars 2, and that is multiple targets get hit by most of your attacks. I think a lot of people think because this game is tab-targeted, they're like, fuck, I don't want to play another tab-targeted game, this is lame, but it's not. You hit multiple targets with your attacks, and I think that is one of those features that is good, but bad that it's not being pushed to the front. Like, this is an action-based game. You are in the combat. You are very much involved. I mean, as we just talked about for 5,000 hours about the dodge mechanic, it's like, it's a serious combat. So.
Yeah. You also have to remember that mobs can dodge too. So that's not. I mean, that's not just a player. So it's not like, oh, tab target. I'm just gonna shoot the guy and it's gonna work. No, if you shoot it and the mob dodges on you, you might miss. It might go right past you. So you have to be aware of that too. Because when mobs will start to dodge all over the place. I mean, like this weekend when we were trying to film something, we had a hard time with that. There was mobs wouldn't stay put for us and dodging all over the place. So. It's just something to be aware of, that players aren't the only people with that ability.
Which made for some great footage, though. And if you haven't seen it, it's called I Surrender. It's the first Guild Wars 2 machinima. Yes. Go to YouTube or alltabme.com to check out a link. And you can see Zacchus, actually. Zacchus was the guy playing the male. And he's fighting one of the mobs, and the mob is literally like, fashing, fashing, dodge rolling everywhere. And you're like, what the? Is that a player? Are they dueling? No, that's a mob, man. And it was like, fuck. I was like handy-camming that shit. Like, whoa, war scene, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Speaking of machinima, I think another downside to the game, which hopefully they will address, is there is no first-person camera.
No
Drives me
camera.
crazy. I don't care if you say you can slash sleep and scroll your camera in because then you can take a pretty picture. I get it, okay? I understand. But if I want to fucking scroll in fast, grab that screenshot, I feel as though I should be able to. They did add a cool feature. Shut up, Bruce. They did add a cool feature where you can slide your character to the left or the right of your screen, which makes for interesting running and, you know, visibility and stuff like that. But, come on. Give us a first-person camera. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't, that's okay, too, because it will be harder for people to make machinima and therefore less crap, which is good. Or more crap,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at it. I'm not sure yet.
Probably more crap. Probably more crap, yeah.
But I would love to
A lot
see...
more poor quality.
I don't know. I'd love to see a first-person camera, or at least like the ability to even if you're not making movies, I would like to see them put the HD screenshot button back in. While I don't think we need the HD version it was doing, like where it quadrupled or triplified your screen resolution and took out all the UI. It would just be nice to have a button that automatically removes the UI when you take a screenshot, so you don't have to like toggle screenshot. Because if you see something really cool, it's just nice to be able to bam hit a button and you got this awesome screenshot. So I don't know. Anyway, it's small.
Nice.
Sounds
I mean,
lame.
like, we're really
Shut up, Bruce.
we're reaching for this shit. We're like, what's wrong with the game? The other second biggest, other than the first thing that we said that it's not out yet, the second biggest thing that's wrong with the game is after playing Guild Wars 2, I swear to God, I can't play any other game without being like, what the fuck is wrong with these developers? Why can't you polish your shit?
It's terrible. It really is terrible. I spent this entire weekend on a brand new laptop, and I could not find a single game I wanted to play more than 20 minutes. I ended up playing Minecraft for like 7 hours with people because I could not find a single game that was holding my attention any longer than that. I was pissed. I'm pissed. I'm still pissed. Guild Wars, you've ruined me. Stop it.
We still got weeks to go, man.
Too long. Too long.
I know, way too long.
No, but they really have. You know what? And that brings me into the idea that the hype train is a negative thing as well, because so many people have heard the hype that developers have built. Now, mind you, the developers usually build the hype. Guild Wars 2 hasn't really gone out of their way to go and build hype. What they've done is they've gone and made a blog, they've talked about their mechanics, they've talked about the stuff they put into the game, but they didn't go out and make fucking commercials, they didn't go out and spam the shit out of your email, they didn't go to major websites and like advertise the crap out of the game. I don't think I've ever seen a Guild Wars 2 banner, ever, to be honest, advertising the game.
Not really.
Maybe in recent days, now that there's a release date, but I honestly I haven't seen anything. And the hype train, which can be seen as negative because of the fact that so many people have been burned. Terra, Secret World, Swarter, you know, anything that's a WoW clone, you know, fucking. I don't have any.
Everything.
I don't have any other games.
Every game ever. Every MMO.
But you know, yeah, any other MMO. and people have the, you know, they have beaten puppy syndrome is what I like to say. They got beat so much that they're like, I can't like another game that's hyped. It's too much for me to think about. So I mean, that's basically what's going on here. And so the hype that the players have built for this game is making it so that you go to these videos and these people talking about Guild Wars 2, and someone brings up something bad about the game, and all of a sudden you got 55 million people jumping on the fucker being like, fuck you, this game's the best thing since Jesus, and fucking it walks on water, and it doesn't even have legs. Fuck, legs weren't even invented back in the days of Guild Wars. Fuck. That was another 250 years for Guild Wars 3, you shithead. So, I mean, you've got this crazy hype train built up behind this game that is really, really good. And the hype is, it's valid. It's valid hype. There should be hype around this game. But unfortunately, because of the games before it, the hype is actually hurting it at times. Which is nuts.
Yeah, it's just crazy that we've had so many bad games like that. That's what it's come to. That hype has turned into a negative thing.
Ugh.
I mean, I think also a lot of people, I think they hear the name Guild Wars 2, and they think, oh, well, I didn't play Guild Wars 1, I can't get into this. And Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, while yes, they have, you know, lore that ties everything together, it's not it's not a sequel. It is a separate entity when it comes to gameplay, mechanics, and everything like that. When it comes to story, it's definitely very similar. What, am I smoking pot? What was
it? Is it 500?
Oh, I thought you were like, no, wait, smoke a joint.
No, I thought it was 250.
No, what the hell? Is it 250 or 500?
Yeah, I think it's 250,
years.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but what
their
is it?
base coach over there.
Sorry. But what is it?
Steel.
In the first Guild Wars, the thing was humans were killing off the Char, and the Char were killing off the humans, and now humans and Char are all together. I really don't care about the lore. I'm here for gameplay. But I know a lot of people will be like, oh my god, Char's a playable character. That's so wrong. And whatever, peace treaties or whatever. Someone else can correct me later.
Blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, pretty much. But that's one of the big things that people were having issues with right off the start was, oh my god, the lore, the Char are playable. That doesn't seem right at all. And it kind of works now. I'm assuming it works in the lore.
It's like if you pit a fight against a guy that's street smart and a guy that's book smart. This is like the mentality of the community versus Guild Wars 2 right now. So Guild Wars 2 is street smart. Motherfucker knows everything. He's been there, he's seen it, he's gone through it. He had Guild Wars 1. It was pretty successful, which people like to just be like, oh, Guild Wars 1 was a failure. No, it sold millions of fucking copies, and it was extremely successful. And they are a great publishing company. So you've got Guild Wars 1 that was successful, so they've been around the block. And then you've got the people who are the book smart people. They're like, well, I did my research, and the wiki says that if you are not Blizzard, then your shit must stink. And then Guild Wars 2 comes around, it's all like, bam, curb stomp, and you're like, whoa! You know, because you're like, that wasn't called for, dude. But the problem is that all the onlookers that have played Guild Wars 2 are like, yep, you see them? You see that guy right there? He got curb stomp. He deserved that shit. I understand that shit. Fucker had that shit coming. Should have done his research. Shit. I played Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars fucking Infinity. I played it since the day it died. Fuck, that guy didn't even know what happened.
Fuck.
Wow.
You were above and beyond today, Tristan. I'm glad you finally caught up on your after beta week and sleep cycle.
Oh god, I was dead.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. I'm glad you got your
Needed
energy
sleep.
back.
That was
Jesus
bad.
Christ. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think I just recovered from
Oh,
that too.
boy.
I swear to God, I was still like
Just now?
walking like a zombie.
Week and a half later.
Or
Sounds about right.
Yeah, or it's the giant fucking bag of crack I smoked before this podcast. Just kidding. I don't do drugs.
I can only imagine what
We didn't
release is
hear
going to be like.
Oh, miserable.
So at least,
one of us
at
is
least
gonna
my
lose our
cat
job.
has joined us.
It's going to be totally worth it. Hi, cat.
Meow. Oh look, I can virtually pet it.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Anywho's, let's see. What else is bad about Guild Wars 2? I feel like there's so much more I want to say about the hype, just because, like, I feel like people. I don't know. I just when you go to a YouTube video and you see people bitching about when they say, "Oh, well, you're just a fanboy. Your opinion doesn't matter because you just like it, and so that makes it so that your opinion doesn't count." I don't understand that mentality. There's a reason why. Oh, okay. So that's what I wanted to say. So to wrap it up is that the people have created the hype. So the hype should kind of be believed, because I swear to God, I'm yet to read a shitty review about this game. Sure, it may not be the next coming of Christ, but are we really looking for that? Aren't we all just looking for a fun game? I mean, I'm pretty sure the second coming of Christ.
Why do you keep referencing it?
No, but I'm pretty sure that.
Stop it.
No, I'm pretty sure that what that means is that, like, when that happens, all of the Christians are going to just magically disappear, and the rest of us are stuck with Obama. So.
Really? Are we really discussing this right now?
Are we going
this
there?
Is what we've
Is
come
that where
down
we're
to?
going?
We're talking
Politics.
about the Rapture now. We've gone from awesome Guild Wars 2 hype to the Rapture.
The Rapture.
Look at your thought process. Come on. Tone it back. Let's get back to the game and
Focus.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Guild Wars
You
2
went
is
from-
the beginning.
You went from being a zombie to being like on speed or something.
The Fist of Fury of Tristan.
I have
Is
this.
it the Bruce Lee of podcasts?
I have this written.
Oh
I have
my
this written
God.
like 1,000 times on our checklist because it came up a lot with people. There are no mounts in Guild Wars 2. Thoughts?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sad.
I'm sad
Very
that there's. Yeah, I'm a little bit sad only for the collection aspect, because when I left WoW, I had like 120 something mounts. I collected everything I could, and I'm a little sad that that collection aspect's gone. But I'm glad that the transportation system doesn't need it. So I'm not missing it for the traveling aspect. I'm missing it for the cosmetic and collection aspects.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I completely
There's
agree for
something
the same
epic.
reasons.
Yeah, there's something epic about having a horse, a steed, and looking at the different colors and being like, which steed fits my character the best? Do I want the Palomino? Do I want the white horse? Do I want the black horse? Or, do I want to get the really, like, derp fucking, like wolf or something, Like, what do I
AV
want?
wolf.
Do I want the card game turtle?
Yeah.
I mean, do I want to walk slower than I currently am right now by getting the turtle? That's the real question. And do I want to drop $350 on eBay? Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
No
I
offense,
bought a
man.
turtle from you.
No offense.
You
Jen.
bought? You did? You bought a turtle?
Not with real money.
Yeah, I gave her an in-game back in the WoW days.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, mounts are
That
nice.
was payment.
As long as the mounts don't go crazy. The one thing that I saw a picture from WoW the other day, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I'm looking at Ironforge, and they're all getting ready to like invade the Horde, which was a useless idea anyway. But they have these mounts that are so big that they're like bigger than the entrances to the bank. They're bigger than the freaking the bridge in between the thing. Wow, that was really fucking useful information right there. The thing with the thing, and they're bigger than
right
that.
in between the thing.
Just so you have a good scale.
Right by the other thing.
No, but like, and there's people hiding under the mount because they're just so big and so spoofy and sparkly that you're like, is this Twilight? Like, what are we watching here? This is a little ridiculous. If the mounts could get into the game and stay true to what the game is, that would be cool.
Yeah,
What
horses
would the char mount be, though?
would be fine.
Well, think about it. What the hell would the char ride?
The female char.
Lizards?
An elephant.
Probably lizards.
There you go. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Lizards? Is that really all they
A
got?
lizard.
No,
The March Drake?
I don't know.
they're
Yeah, probably
wags.
something like that.
The other kill people.
Yeah, that way when we
Yes,
do
the
the
other
jumping
char.
video next time, yeah, we'll just have that jumping video.
Piggyback.
and they'll
You can
be
get
riding
piggyback
their
on the other
wives and
char.
just have a massive orgy.
I think that works.
Yeah,
They'll
and
get-
the
they'll
car's
get,
supposed to run faster?
They'll go the Guild Wars 2 version of planes running.
Well, yeah, they'd have to just.
No,
run
the
fast.
Azure can ride the Char, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or the Norn.
That'd be
The
cool.
Norn would be... The Azuran ride...
So
Norn.
what we've come up
That'd be-
with
that'd
here
work.
for Guild Wars 2 as a suggestion to no mounts is we really think piggyback rides would be a great idea. We'll take our checks in the mail. Thank you. We accept major credit cards as well.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Just wow. Development team
We're
in
making
process
this
right here. Fuck.
Yeah.
We're making the negative podcast enjoyable, so let us, have it.
That's not even. That's
Oh, boy.
oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, well, this brings us to the next thing that seems to be a turnoff to some people, and I think it was definitely a turnoff to me when I first logged in because I didn't know until I started playing for a little bit because I was all like, "Oh, we have classes to pick, we have races to pick. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna be, do I want to be the ugly guys, so I'm the bad guys, but actually all the good players, or do I want to be the humans because I like being pretty, but I'm usually hanging out with all the noobs?" And then I was like, fuck it, I'll play the humans just for the beta. And I got in the game, and I was like, all right, who do I kill? And I was like, wait, he just rezzed me. Oh, wait, I just rezzed him. Wait, I don't kill anybody. Wait, we're all allied? What? What? This is crazy. So, I think some
We're all
people
friends
might be
here.
turned off from that. They might be like, but I like to have that for the Horde or, for the Alliance. Only the French people say that. Anyway, which that's a true statement. That is a true statement. That is not a racist or like geographicist statement at all. The French really do like the Alliance.
Geographical?
or the Horde. They really do.
Graphical statement.
They do. This is a true statement. Anyway, I don't know. I think that might. I mean,
Well,
what about for you guys? Do you like the fact that you're allied with everybody, or Gaiwan?
I
I'm
miss
happy
the
that we
PvP
are.
servers.
Oh,
Well,
I
I miss the
don't.
PvP servers. I liked going around and being that guy. I never played the rogue, so I never had a stealthy gank. But I liked going into I don't know, one of the open zones, especially near expansion release or something, and I'm just gonna kill people. I miss that. I miss that open world PvP. I mean, yes, you do have the World v World so that you can satisfy that bloodlust, but I kind of miss just the random. Oh, hey, look, there's a guy I can kill. Let's go kill him. I kind of miss that surprise element of it. But overall, I mean, they did definitely fix it with World v World. You do have that open world environment where you'll still see that guy in the distance, but it's just not the same. Not quite the same. Still good.
Yeah.
I
but
don't
not
miss.
the same.
I don't miss it.
It's probably
Jen, go ahead.
Oh, I don't miss it. Like, the only world PvP I ever liked, like, for example, on WoW, was back in vanilla. I've hated world PvP since then. Like, it was never fun again. Like, never fun again. And I just don't miss being ganked and by someone that's way, way, way too overpowered to kill you, I don't miss that. I like the fact that we're all working together. I like that aspect.
oh.
Care Bear.
What about you, John?
Care Bear.
I'm a Care Bear.
I miss open world PvP. I had so much fun, especially in vanilla. I agree with the vanilla statement though. In vanilla, actually with triage a lot. Just going around, booty bay, stuff like that. So I'm gonna miss that. Being able to run around and city siege and things like that, crashing the servers, Tristan. And but World v World is as close as you can probably get to that without it being true open. So I can deal with that. I'm going to spend a lot of time in World v World, so I do like it. But that said, I do miss being able just to run up and punch somebody in the face. So
I think,
Exactly.
obviously, from the way that the game is built, open world PvP wouldn't work. It's not conducive to the world that they're trying to make. With that in mind, when I first got in the game, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be playing the PvP server when not in launch. I don't, let me see how it goes. And then I got in the game and I realized that you couldn't. And because the game didn't have the option and it wasn't like I was missing out on it, I almost feel like I'm obligated in any game that has a PvP server to play on the PvP server. Otherwise, I am considered a noob. And I won't learn, and I will suck, and I I just feel like anybody that plays PvE is Care Bear, and it's built into my Ultima Online, steal all your shit, your house, and then you cancel your account, and I call you at your house and laugh at you, like, mentality. You know what I mean? It's ingrained in my system.
I missed that.
I missed that. Like, I can't believe it, man. Fuck. I miss breaking my keyboards over my fucking knee. It's just... Now I have to stick with these stupid keyboards for longer than a month. This sucks. But no, it's But once I figured out that the game didn't have open world PvP, I started to enjoy helping other people, which really surprised me. I wrote that article about Ultima Online, and it's how it's not the same thing as Guild Wars 2, but it gives me that same community sense as Guild Wars 2 did. You can go with your friends and you can go mine nodes, and while you're mining nodes, you could be talking and chatting about your day, and that's something that's really fun in these games. And I think that's what made Ultima Online so good. Talk your ear off, right? But it's nice. That's part of what makes an MMO an MMO. You're playing with other people, and that's what was great. And I don't know. It made me happy to know that I didn't feel like I was missing out on the action by rolling with my friends on these servers, because there was no option to go PvP. And then, like, for me and John, we went to that cave and we just explored that cave for 2 hours, man, and we had a great time. Now imagine if we were exploring that cave and some asshole came in there and fucking one-shotted me in the back. That wouldn't have been as fun, and we definitely wouldn't have been just sitting around, like, shooting the shit, enjoying the world. We would have been, like, on our toes, like, what if somebody comes? This is our cave now. Fuck you, bitches. You know what I mean? It would have changed the whole attitude of the game. It would have been weird. And I think they've done a very, very successful job at reprogramming your brain once you give in and let yourself play, to know that it's okay to enjoy the game in front of you. It's like the first successful multiplayer single player RPG, if that makes sense.
And now you'll never have that moment either where you finally decide on a server, and then all of a sudden one of you want to play Horde and one of you want to play Alliance. So that cancels out that argument as well, where you don't have to make that decision. There's not that argument, and one person's not as happy as the other. You can play whatever you want, and you'll always be on the same side. So that's the benefit, at least.
Yeah.
But yes,
still sad. Still sad.
Well, so another bad thing, I think, is that World v. World is great. And I know, since we're on the topic of open world PvP and the fact that World v. World is the substitute for that, while we're on the topic of that, though, you have to think about the queuing system. And I'm sorry, but when our guild with 50 char wanted to go into World v. World, regardless of the fact that we had a blast, doing, the diving board and all the other stuff, I still would have been so much happier had we been able to go into World v. World and spawn 150 Mesmer clones. But because of the fact that the World v. World is limited to X amount of people per server in one realm, which there's 4 realms within the whole World v. World thing, it was completely full, and there was no way for us to get in without waiting hours. And to me, that needs to be addressed, because that's not fun. I want to play with my guild. Well,
actually, Arena did post for this beta weekend specifically that they did shorten the list because there were servers that didn't have players during the last 2 beta weekends, so they got Robble Stomped to the people that were playing. So they're trying to find that balance of overpopulated servers, underpopulated servers, trying to get that mix so there isn't as big of a wait time. More PvP groups, less PvP groups. They're still fine-tuning that, but it was very upsetting during last weekend that we wanted to do it and we couldn't. And that's definitely not the mentality ArenaNet wants at all.
Well, yeah.
They want, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. So they really need to find that fine-tuned balance. And
even if that means that we go into another, I wouldn't even mind if that meant that we go into another server, that we end up going and fighting against other servers. That doesn't bother me at all. I just want to be able to click World v. World and go get some PvP on with my friends.
That would That would be actually a pretty cool system. That in the 500, if you have your cap for your server, and then say there's other servers that are underpopulated, you get overflowed and help those teams out. That would actually be a really cool mechanic to add. That if you're on a superpopulated server and you can't get in, hey, temporarily play and help these guys out. That would be an amazing. Obviously, you can't play against other teams on your same current battle, but
you sort,
I never even thought about that. That is a fantastic idea.
Once again, Tristian Pope,
I honestly did not expect a good idea out of you.
I take checks, credit cards.
I did not think you would have a good idea at all, ever. And kudos.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they were.
For anybody who's watching this podcast, we are looking for a new person for the podcast, a guest speaker per se. Jennifer's going to stay, John's going to stay, but Bruce, he's been having problems with this whole motel thing, so.
Bye, Bruce.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, John, you were saying what? Sorry. Totally cut you off.
No, I was just saying it was beta and they were fooling with caps, so it'd be interesting to see where it falls during release. I also noticed that I think a lot of people didn't remember. I don't know what it was, but they didn't remember that Eternal Battlegrounds isn't the only map. Every server has its homeland. And I noticed in Sunday, a group of Arcanix guys I was rolling with, we could not get into Eternal Battlegrounds at the beginning. But you could get into the other homelands. So we went into one of the other servers' homelands and found another group of people from our server and started rolling around taking things. You have to understand that it's 4 maps worth of war. It's not just 1 map worth of war. The Eternal Battlegrounds might be where the huge armies are meeting, but there's definitely smaller battles and skirmishes and, like, I want to say almost special ops squads running around the other areas trying to take things. So you can go in there. I mean, I know it's sort of like a workaround. It's like, well, I'm not going to the battle, but you can go in there and still find a fight and still World v. World. I mean, it might not be a ginormous battle at Stone Mist Castle, but it'll still be a huge battle. I mean, we had keep assaults. Arcanix claimed a supply depot for a while and stuff, so... Yes. I mean, you can always go into there. Those don't necessarily fill up as fast as Eternal Battlegrounds does, so... Just remember there are 4 maps, basically.
Yeah. Can players accept a skill-based game that doesn't focus on equipment? That is definitely a point that I think it brings up a good point. Some people like to go PvP to get their PvE gear. Some people like to go PvE to get their PvP gear. In this game, your PvP is your PvP. Your PvE is your PvE. And your gear is not the deciding factor of who wins a battle. Your skill is. And it has been proven on multiple websites, multiple journal outlets, that this is true. This isn't just there's no Trinity, so we're just kind of talking about it, No, it's been proven that there is no Trinity. It is not a skill-based, it is a skill-based game. It's not a gear-based game. And PvP and PvE are completely separate. Do you think that'll turn off some people, though?
Well, it's a little sad that you do. It was nice in some of those games where you do have a lot of progress in one thing, and that helped you in your other spectrum. It's weird because now you have almost not leveling tiers, but it's almost like you do really good in PvP, and your PvE doesn't grow with you at all. It's static. You don't have any balancing or anything like that because you get bonus gear in this side, bonus gear in that side. You can use it for that side, and it's pretty good for that side as well. But they're definitely separated entities. We're talking structured PvP and PvE. World v. World, you can use your PvE gear, so you do have that massive, structured, that massive collaboration, so that where your gear does help. But it's really that structured PvP and the PvP element are completely separate in terms of gear and skill growth, and that's going to be challenging for a lot of people to hold on to that concept.
Well, Bruce, you were a healer in WoW, right?
Oh yeah. I was very sad when I was reading about Guild Wars 2 and I learned that I couldn't be a healer. I've been healing since before 2000, and I've been healing in all my MMOs, all my games, everything I do. I've always played the support heal, and it took a big change for me. I think what really helped me was when I ended WoW, I actually stopped being a healer for like 3 months and went hunter, warrior, and druid PvP burst damage. And I think that 3 months kind of helped my mentality for my new path here, where I have that support, that need to be alive. If you can't be good when you're dead, so everyone has that heal ability, so I can heal and keep myself alive. I can play a support character and help others, but I'm having a hard time materializing the words because you really upset me with that comment of not being able to be a healer. It kind of just shocked my system.
Sad.
Yeah, but anyways, grow from it, learn from it.
Well, do you
learn
think
how to play
okay,
a
but do you
damage
think
class
that
and learn to be a support class?
do you think that that's going to be a game breaker for some people?
Game breaker? I think so. I really do think some people will be not able to grasp that mentality of I can't be that super meaty tank and I have my healer behind me. I'll always be alive. I think a lot of people will have to learn that gameplay doesn't exist anymore.
I think a lot of people, and I'm looking at the comments in the stream right now, and I want to mention this real fast. A lot of people still believe that they can make a healing spec. You are wrong. Wrong. 100% wrong. It's been tried. It's been tested. It is impossible. I
tried real hard.
There was a spec on the Guardian that kind of made him a healer. They nerfed it. They don't want you to do that. They want you to play the game with the different mechanics. They want you to dodge. They want you to run around. They want you to use combos. They want you to help each other. They want you to build a defensive bubble that you can hide in. They want you to knock an enemy back. They don't want you... So that this all gives you more time so that you can cast your own heal. There is no skill or spec or build in this game that will make you a healer. So just putting that out there so that people understand that this could turn some people off, that they don't get to play healer. I know that there's a lot of people saying, well, I can. You can still be a healer. You cannot be a healer. Nor a tank.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
No.
There's pages upon pages, I think in every forum of class forums on different websites, discussing the viability of making a healing build, and it just doesn't work. You sacrifice too much of everything else. If you can do that, but it's still not going to be as effective as you're not going to get the same WoW feeling of, well, I'm going to stand here and roll heals and everybody and save the world. You can't do that. You could put all your stuff towards healing, and your heroes will be stronger, but it's not going to be that game-breaking decision or whatever. Like, if I don't heal now, we're all going to lose it or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, and then when you make that spec, you sacrifice too much of something else, and you end up, whether you sacrifice health or you just turn into a glass cannon of sorts, except in healing, it's just not going to work. You can't do that. You can't focus too much on that.
The positive aspect of there not being healers and tanks is that everyone who's playing gets to focus on what is on their screen. And that, to me, is really important. I'm a very aesthetic person. I like to play the game in front of me. I like it to be on max settings. I like to really immerse myself in the visuals. And the fact that Guild Wars 2 really pushes you to look at what's in front of you makes me very happy. And I don't think you could do that with a tank and healer class, because you'd constantly be looking at health bars. You'd constantly be looking at enemy health bars or, assisting targets and stuff like that. So I think this is nice, and it also makes it nice where you don't have to play like the rogue character and be stabbing asshole all day. Because I swear to God, my WoW experience was way different than you guys. All I looked at was ass. Okay,
I was a rogue too. Yeah.
I was like, man, this
like,
monster looks weird. Everybody's like, it's so pretty. I'm like, I see asshole.
Well, I do want to just throw this out there. Since there's no Trinity, there's like a new Trinity kind of. It's not really the Holy Trinity that we're used to, but now it's a pure damage, support damage, and what's the other one? It's the new Trinity that's kind of coming out. It's damage, support, and something else, and I can't remember what it's called.
Damage, support, and ranged.
Yeah, there we go. And it's that's the new concept that they're trying to bring out. I mean, you can kind of gear your playstyle to be a support character, especially the Guardian type or a lot of these sub-specs of classes. You're making the barriers, you're adding the buffs, the debuffs, the control. That's where the new support mentality needs to be. not I'm a meat shield, I'm a healer, and I do damage.
Yeah.
But it's much more interactive. It's much more collaboration than just the Holy Trinity. That's the exciting part of it, though.
Before we get completely trolled on YouTube, it's damage support and control. Thank you, stream.
Thank you.
I wish I could screenshot what I just saw. It was just damage support control spam.
I saw that too.
Sorry.
My bad, guys.
My bad.
Oh boy. Shit.
Uh,
So without healers, without having to look at targets, without having to look at bars, being able to play the game in front of you, ArenaNet has gone with the stance of no add-on support. No add-ons.
I'm okay with that.
Thoughts on that?
really?
Doesn't bother me.
Oh, I guess I'm the only one with an issue then.
I don't like
I've
it
always
either.
hated
Bruce.
downloading add-ons.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you. Oh, God, I thought I was going to be the solo man on this one.
Oh,
Here,
no,
I'll
not
let
at
you
all.
talk first then.
Oh well, the reason I
okay.
liked add-ons so much was that I just like customizing. I told you I'm aesthetic, so anything to make my screen larger space is good by me. Also, I like adding clocks and stuff like that. Although, thank God, they added in the last beta, they added a little tiny, turn-on clock, and it's just little numbers in the corner. Oh, it made me so happy. That's all I wanted. And it was local time or game time. And I was like, yes, local time, what's up? Now I'm not going to be like, holy shit, it's 4 in the morning, I need to go to bed. Now I'll be like, holy shit, it's 4 in the morning, I'm going to play a couple more hours. You know what I mean? At least I knew.
Exactly.
But no, I like add-ons.
I'm sad though because, I'm sad now because I didn't use a lot of the aesthetic add-ons. I didn't use the bartenders or any of that stuff. I still kept the WoW basic and I had a lot of macros. What I'm sad about is that I don't have my Atlas maps. I don't have my item database menus. I don't have my lookup tables. I don't have any of my information add-ons I used to use so much. My Gatherer. Oh my God, what am I gonna do without Gatherer? I'm gonna be lost. I'm gonna be all tabbing. I'm gonna be on 3 computers looking at maps, looking at my respawn rates. I'm gonna be charting everything. I'm gonna have a daily schedule of when my respawn for nodes are. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, but it's gonna be so much work. Oh God,
Yeah.
oh God, is it gonna be so much work? Oh God.
I'll miss Atlas
You-
kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure stuff is going to
I think-
pop up, though, that's going to help, third-party programs maybe that you can run in the background.
Well,
I don't trust those things. I'm always afraid of getting banned for stuff like that. I don't risk it when it comes to third-party stuff. Unless it's supported by Blizzard or oh god. Sorry, that's just going from WoW. Excuse me. Unless it's supported by ArenaNet, I'm not gonna do it at all. Wow.
wow. Yeah, well, actually,
Wow.
when we were talking about add-ons, I agree with Tristan. I was specifically thinking of add-ons that whatever deadly boss mods or whatever the heck that stupid shit was that you needed for raids. Because other than that, I was with Tristan. I wanted as much screen space as possible. So I would have bartender. I would make everything small or whatever. I'd know my keys or whatever. I just wanted to enjoy the world. And I have stuff bound.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Is Jen okay? I'm sorry to kind of interrupt
is she
you.
dying?
But she's choking over there.
Are you
and
okay?
Is she
Yeah,
alright?
I just want to make sure real quick.
Should we
that-
do something about
Are you
this?
okay? Before
I'm choking.
before you
I'm
start
fine.
going purple,
Please don't die
So
on
you're
this
joking,
earth.
you're
Okay.
fine.
did we have to
I was
call an
choking on
ambulance
my
real
soda.
quick? Okay.
I'm choking, I'm fine.
I'm-
Famous last words from Jen. Thank you, Jen.
Well, I'm sorry. On my phone, I only have one video screen, and I know Jen because I don't want to look at YouTube. And all I see is Jen choking, and it's like, oh God, I'm gonna have to interrupt. Oh, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have
Oh,
someone
man.
die on our podcast.
That is amazing.
All right.
That would be really bad.
Wow.
We good? All right. I think we're good.
We're gonna survive.
Wait, hold on. Where's the?
No, I just
There was definitely porn music.
Do you have a ticket?
Oh, no, this is what I was talking about. Here we go. Keep choking, Jen. Keep choking on that soda. You work it, girl. You drink that soda so good. The bubbles and the fizzly, they're coming out your nose, girl. Mm-hmm. I love it when you drink that soda gin every night and day. I wish you'd drink some more soda for me. Choke it all away. Choke on that soda gin. Keep choking, choking, choke. Choke it, choke it, choke. Gin.
Oh, that was good.
Sorry.
That was good. That was a very good use of time.
That was good.
I'm crying.
Exactly.
I don't...
Now you made her cry, Tristan. Way to go.
Wow. Yeah, that's not the response I wanted after that. I'm crying.
It's all right, Jen. Now you know how I feel every time I go on a laughing spree.
Chicken head.
Oh man.
I'm confused. I'm confused. What do we do? What do we do?
She's not choking anymore, so I think we should go back to the add-on here. Let's keep talking about add-ons.
Alright, as long as she's gonna survive.
I'm good.
We're good?
What is Bruce doing? I don't understand what's happening right now. What is happening to our podcast?
I'm scared. What?
It's exploding.
What do we do?
You don't look like you're scared. You look like you're having like a freaking heart attack. Like I felt like throwing some aspirin at you, man. I was gonna fucking flick it through the screen. Save yourself!
No, it's like, well, it's one of those things. Oh God, girls crying, what do I do? Back away, back away.
What is this? What is this, Family Guy? Oh yeah.
All right, we're good. We got this. All right, add-ons.
I
Take a deep breath.
Fuck. You were saying add-ons aesthetic, John. You were saying, sorry.
I was saying I would change my vote to completely agree with add-ons, then, as long as I just like the aesthetic ones, the ability to customize, and just make more screen space and whatnot, make things look nicer.
Which I have to say they did a good job at that.
Yeah, no, their UI is pretty smooth, pretty clean.
Yeah, the chat's kind of lame, but the rest of the UI is pretty good.
I like where it's at, but I want to make it bigger.
You can.
Something needs to be changed about it.
You can do
that.
that.
You can make it bigger.
I tried to,
and you can make it on screen all the time too.
That would be probably better. I forgot it was there. Like, even though it's in the same spot like that it's in WoW, I kept forgetting to look at it for some reason. Like,
it's alright. Girls always want it bigger. It's okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Jen. I want to talk to you about bigger UI. Oh yeah. Popping those cooldowns, watching the timer tick away. 30 seconds left till I can play. Oh, Jen. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Welcome to Jazz Channel.
Oh, wow.
With your host,
I think we've derailed.
We've derailed.
The
train is off the fucking tracks. It's gone. Okay, so we're going to move on.
All right, hold on. I got this. Fishing. No fishing.
That's where we're going from this?
I'm just throwing that out there.
That's why someone's not going to get the game, because there's no fishing?
I love fishing.
Hey, Thank you, Jen understands.
I think they'll put fishing into.
System.
Yeah, but I think they'll put it into the game. I think fishing will be in the game, but it's just that's not a selling point. You're not like, man, I really don't want to play that MMO because there's no damn fishing.
Well, some of us for the crafting aspect, though, crafting enthusiasts are always big with the fishing and the gathering. To remove one of the prime staples of gathering that almost every other MMO has, that's I know it's kind of a niche market, but still, that's pretty important for a lot of people. That, think of how expansive cooking is now. Now think of how much more expansive it could be if you add fishing into the mix. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm sad. I know there are people out there like Jen. Thank you for supporting me in this. Mm-hmm. I do hope they do add it. I'm just sad that it's not added in release.
All right. I got nothing for you on that one. I got nothing.
Really? Did you guys never fish? You guys never fished?
I did.
No,
In
I
WoW,
fished.
I did. I found it boring a lot, but
Yeah.
I definitely fished sometimes. There were some nice places to just chill out and fish for a little while. But I wasn't too big on the cooking, so.
That's
Yeah,
how I did
well,
my cooking. I only made fish recipes because I didn't like farming for food, so instead I would go fish for food.
I hated fishing in the game, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I think it is boring, a fucking tedious waste of time, and then they implement it into your cooking skill, and you need to fish. F that noise, okay? I'm sorry. I'm the opposite spectrum. I hate fishing. I'm playing a game for action, not to sit there and be like... And then I get a virtual fish.
Yeah,
and
you're
like,
gonna sit there.
damn,
and
you caught like a 50-foot fish instead of your 48.7 last time. I'm like, why didn't I go out into the real world and fucking get a real fish and get a real fucking plaque and put it on my wall and be like, check it out, my fucking fish.
So you're gonna sit there and dye your armors for 10 hours, which has no game value at all.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I knew I was gonna get hit with
add
this.
You
game
knew
value.
that was coming.
I knew I was
You
gonna
knew that was
screw
coming.
with
You
that.
better have known.
Whatever. Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean, you know, if that's your argument of, oh my god, yeah, it's tedious and long and boring, but at least the game's more value.
So
then
speaking of
I look
skill-based
pretty
things in Guild Wars that might turn people off, professions have different learning curves. I feel some professions you can log on and you can feel like you've mastered it within 10 seconds, and then some you log on and
Ranger.
you're like, holy crap, what is this? Mesmer, maybe?
Mesmer.
You know what I mean? Like, but and they even mentioned it. They said that the different classes have different learning curves, and I think that I'm excited by that. I think that's cool because I think that gives you room to expand as the game goes on. But I also think that can scare new players a lot, because then you feel like, you know, you might get a lot of new players that are ending up playing the easier classes just because they're too afraid to jump in without like a guide from someone already. Like when on launch, I think is going to be the time when the easier classes definitely going to be played more. You know, people haven't gone through it and really fleshed it out and given you a guide on what to do yet. So,
Yeah,
well, it's funny. A lot of the polls I'm seeing right now, it's actually pretty balanced for what people are wanting to play. I think Necro's the lowest, but only by like 2%, and then the highest is like only 16%. So there is a spectrum, but they're all kind of close. I mean, it's not like, oh my god, 60% are all going to be warriors running around. I mean, at least they're all staying in the same spectrum.
yeah.
So
No,
Yeah, it seems to be pretty even.
I think it's a positive thing. Some people may see it as a negative thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know what I say to those people? I say to those people, were you motherfucking excited about Terra? Because if you were excited about Terra and it's action combat... Anyway.
He really hates Terra, doesn't he?
Dude, I just...
Yeah.
It's a 5-year-old game that they tried to fucking pawn off to the Americans as if it was new. I'm sorry, but hentai is not new.
Yeah.
It's been on the internet for a long time. Go to www.hentai.xxx.
Okay, I didn't expect that response, but okay.
How about Endgame?
All right, leader, where are we?
I'm so sad.
You're sad about it? Well, explain. No,
I
go ahead.
Okay, well, explain. Well,
Continue.
I'm used to, once again, we always go back to WoW. I'm used to what WoW was like, and having that boss, that you strive to get to. And I like to get loot. We had those dungeons in the game. When you're leveled up, you can go and do the harder dungeons and stuff, and that's fine, and I'm okay with it, but I'm a little sad that there's no, actual, set of raids. Specifically outside
Wouldn't
of
you
dungeons.
consider a raid a group of people that get together and they go and fight a boss and they figure out how to kill that boss? So wouldn't that be the same exact thing as
just
a
like the
world
size. I think
boss?
Yeah, because there's
I
some
like the
Hundreds
outdoor,
of people? Because that's what the end game is that
Yeah.
there's big bosses. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
go after
I
your
want,
balls
the
here. You gotta
specific-
defend yourself, or you gotta cave. You pick which one.
I like the world bosses and I like the dungeons. That I haven't played obviously any of the dungeons, but I like what I've read, but I'm just kind of sad that there's no actually specific end game content, raid wise. To me, a dungeon
I know
and a
you
raid is
keep
a lot different.
So raid-wise, you're
I know
speaking
you're
like,
talking
about the
50
raid.
people getting together and 50 people going into an instanced area and 50 people staying and doing that for the next X amount of time. Is that what you're...
12 hours.
Yeah, like maybe like, a couple bosses, like 5 or 6 bosses, with take about a couple hours to do. That's what I like
But
to do.
that
It's
just
more
goes.
core, basically, is what it is.
No, it's interesting because it's like there are people that really, really like raiding. It's the numbers game. Bruce, you should understand this. Bruce, you love to do the numbers and hit down the crafting and then setting up the guild influence and how we're going to go step by step, stuff like that. And I think the same mentality goes with raiding. Raiding is very much a formulaic way of killing. Guild Wars 2 is not a formulaic way of playing. It's a very much explorative, and the world is living, and what you do really does influence how the world plays out. So if you go to what's
like
that last
dynamic events?
what's that last area called that they're talking about? It's like
Ohm.
yeah.
Or whatever.
Orn.
Something like that.
Or.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
it.
an island of Or or something.
It was Or.
But like, if
It's the one that they sunk or something.
there's multiple things on there that are major bosses and major events that you have to get groups together and you have to plan out. And once you figure that stuff out, your actions, depending on if you fail or succeed, can affect the group that's over to the north fighting the other battle. Because maybe, and I'm just making this up. I have no idea what actually happens. But maybe you kill those guys and it frees the harpies that are on your side and they fly over there and help out the other team. I'm just making shit up right now.
Yeah, well, that's what they were saying, actually. Reading the article about it, is I believe there's no hearts or almost no hearts on that island. It's all dynamic events. So you have to figure there's dynamic events running into each other, affecting each other. So, I mean, it's just, it sounds like it's going to be crazy fun is what it sounds like. So I'm looking forward to getting there eventually.
I think it'll be a good time. I think that it's going to be rough for the people that are used to a very controlled environment right off the bat. But I think once
it won't be.
and people might not like it. They might not like it. And
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to like it yet. I haven't gotten there and tried it. It's a lot of speculation from this point on, but I think just, speculation is obviously important to the way that a game succeeds or doesn't succeed. So, I think that might be a turnoff to some of the WoW players, and I think a lot of the WoW players are going to wait and see what other people say about it. I have a lot of faith in Guild Wars 2, word of mouth, that it will overcome, the hype and stuff like that. I know it sounds weird, overcome the hype, but it has to. It has to overcome the hype, otherwise it. So it'll be interesting to see how that works itself out.
It's not a deal breaker or anything, but it's...
I mean, there's a couple other things here. Some of the things people think might turn people off, or you have there's no houses, but I mean, I don't think we should. I don't think that's something that housing to me will always be the coup de grace of any game that can successfully do it. Will be my home for the rest of my life. Simple as that. Ultima Online burned that into my brain. Housing to me was so cool. Loved it to death. Guild Wars 2 has told us that they will give us some sort of housing in the future. They didn't say exactly how they're going to do it. I'm not going to completely speculate on that yet because I don't know how they're going to do it, but I would like them to go into depth on it. I'd like them to make it, something where you can like build parts of it and you can actually have put furniture down and stuff like that. But who the hell knows? That's yet to be seen. And when I worked for other companies, I heard that in order to make player housing, you would need like an entire development team devoted to just player housing. So who the hell knows? We'll figure it out. I know I would love it though. That's just me. It's not going to turn me away from the game, but I don't know what that there's a Korean or a Japanese MMO that's in the works right now. ArcAge. And ArcAge, that's it. And they have some really cool housing. And I'm sorry, but even though it's open world and it's not as polished as Guild Wars 2, and it looks like it's much more rough around the edges, just in terms of the way it plays and everything. I still, when I saw those houses being built and the fact that you could decorate them and stuff, it just, made me happy. So, I don't know. I have an affinity for housing.
That stuff never really took to me, though. I mean, I think the only game that I really played that had any form of it was Final Fantasy 11. I mean, it was cool walking into a house and you have a Moogle. That was cool. I was excited about that. Unless there's some crafting bonus or something, I probably won't even touch it, even if they do implement it. If they added a crafting station hub in my own house and I could do everything from there with a bank or something, I would totally do it. But other than that,
Yeah. All right.
Ugh.
What do you guys think about what do you guys think about the leveling, the speed of leveling in the game? I feel as though they've made it so that you feel like you're leveling much faster than any other game. World of Warcraft incrementally got harder and harder and harder. Most MMOs get incrementally harder and harder and harder. Guild Wars 2,
I would say slower, not harder.
Slower. Okay,
it got slower, not harder.
It got slower. It literally
slower.
felt slower. You had bigger numbers to fill. In Guild Wars 2, the number stays the same, and it's the same as you go. It's the same leveling. Do you think that that's going to turn some people off, where they're going to hit max level and they're not going to want to go to the other levels just to explore? They don't have that, carrot on a stick anymore.
Well, they do, though. I mean, they added that skill point system where you're always trying to reach max is 80, but you're still gaining experience for 81. And then when you hit 81, you gain a skill point. You're actually 80, but 81 skill point, 81 skill point. And you're using these skill points for so many things. So you'll always have a reason to gain experience. And it's not even so much like you have to grind experience like in all the other games. You're getting it for pretty much everything you're doing. There's no like, oh my god, I have to go here and then do this to gain X level. Whatever you're doing, you're gonna level eventually. The biggest thing that people have to realize is don't force yourself to level. You're gonna level. I mean, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're playing, unless you're playing structured PvP, but that's a whole nother leveling system. If you're in any form of PvE or World v World, your character is going to progress no matter what you're doing. You may not be as fast as some people. You may not be super amazing, speedy, whatever, fastest, main server first, whatever, world first. But no matter what you're doing, you're going to get contributions to your experience. And I think that's going to be kind of a wake-up call for some people that no matter what you're doing, as long as you're being constructive, you're going to eventually hit max level. I feel really long-winded. I feel like every time I stop speaking, there's a really long pause, and I feel really awkward.
Because I was still processing what you were saying. You gave a lot on that one, and I was like,
oh, okay.
All I could think about was Athene coming onto our channel and being like, "I'm a boss," like something crazy like that or something, like a boss. Just, I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. I think the leveling's nice. I like it. I think that some people need that carrot on a stick to continue playing. I think that's just the way it is. But I am hoping that Guild Wars 2 kind of beats the shit out of that mentality. And instead of, it's, okay, the best way to sum this up is, what do we do when we're talking about an MMO? We go, like WoW. Like WoW. This is like WoW. That's like WoW. This isn't like WoW. This is a little different than WoW. Guild Wars 2 is hopefully taking a step in the right direction where not everything is going to be like, not everything is going to be compared to WoW. It'll be, oh, that's kind of like Guild Wars 2. Oh, that's kind of like that thing in Guild Wars 2. Oh, yeah, that's like WoW. Oh, that's like that Guild Wars 2 thing. So it's two different games with very, it's a similar MMO space, but it's two different ideas. And hopefully, they have enough backing and enough support from the people that it takes off and gives itself its own name so that it can define the genre in a different direction so that we're not stuck with clones, as much as we have been.
Yeah.
Forever clone.
Please.
This is not the
So. Seriously. Like I said this weekend, I've tried to so many of them, at least 10 MMOs in 20 minutes, and it's like, nope, done. Nope.
Yep.
There's a couple questions that we got from the forums. I figure we should probably address those real quick because we're pushing it on this one. We're going long on this one. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, because we're talking about what we think might turn people off, but then we're also talking about the fact that, you know, those things are also the things that are making us enjoy the game. So it's hard to just talk about it without giving you both sides. So, you know, if this is long-winded, maybe just split it up into 2 parts. So you can split it here. Part 2, Alt-Tab Me podcast about things that might not be... Anyway, you get it. I think there's like these are small things that people brought up. In World v. World, items drop at your feet in bags rather than just going straight into your inventory. So it takes away from the immersion of the game, being that, you know, like if you're on a ballista and you're killing a shit ton of people, there's a video out there that shows that too. A million bags drop at your feet. What's your first inclination? Get off ballista, grab loot. That's kind of counterintuitive to must defend castle. Bad guys are coming. So I think it would be better if that stuff just kind of like... They did take it a step further where it used to drop at the corpse of the person you killed. Now it drops at your body.
Yeah.
But I think they need to take that one step further and just have like a place for your PvP badges and that stuff to just go. You know, Blizzard did it and that was great. It freed up bag space. People love bag space. You need bag space. Let's do it. You know, I'm hoping that they're not making things like some PvP weapons stay in your bag when you go into PvE. Some items, like weapons, you have... I know I carry one set of every weapon on me at all times in Guild Wars 2 just in case this scenario calls for it. I'd love to see that not take bag space and actually have dedicated sword goes here, staff goes here, X goes here, that goes here. The reason...
They did... Sorry, I am just going to interrupt for a second. They did add a equipment bag to the game where every time you get a new piece of armor, it does go straight to that bag. So at least you can organize in that fashion.
No, I know, but I'm talking about...
That is bag space fill, but yeah.
I'm talking about like just taking it out of the bag space. And I'm hoping that they're not doing that to... System. I'm hoping that the arena, the WoW arena trinket and that stuff where it was, you know, they were all your badges were kept in a specific place. You didn't have to worry about that bag space anymore. You just it was in the UI. And I'm hoping they're not doing that to take advantage of the cash shop where you can buy more bag slots.
Probably.
You know, I mean, it sounds like they could be, and that sucks a little bit, but you know, whatever.
There's no subscription though. I mean, you do always have to argue that point. There is no subscription.
I'm not gonna. No, it's smart marketing. It's smart marketing.
Bit of leniency, yeah.
Smart marketing. Yeah. I'm just it irks me a little bit. I'm like, you know, there's 1,000 games out there that do this better, yet you're not doing it because why? So it makes me question a little bit.
The player in me is really all up with you, but the financial side of me is just like they're being really smart about it, and I can't bash either side of it. I'm torn between realism and financial.
So,
but
then
anyway,
they have let's see what else here. The cost of armor seems to be too much, and it breaks too fast. I don't think it's too much to repair, but I do think that armor breaks way too fast. I think like after one or two deaths, your armor is gone, man.
I thought it was though. If you don't die, you never need to repair. So stop dying. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop dying, Tristian.
So stop dying, and you're fine. You'll never have to repair.
Even if someone reses you.
Failing. No.
If you go into downstate, your gear still stays the same. If someone gives you the finishing blow, it's only when you die. I could be wrong on that.
No, it's only when you die.
I don't know. I disagree. I still think that you die 2 times and at least 4 things are broken in your armor.
No, I thought they reduced that level though. I thought they reduced
They're not broke.
Oh no, that was a different game. Oh god, Diablo 3 just made that. Sorry. I'm mixing all my games. These business trips are screwing up my information system, so excuse me.
Yeah, I just...
Blame my job.
Please don't choke again,
Yeah,
Jen.
your job.
Sorry.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Suck on it slower. Okay. Remember to fully... Anyway.
Fully swallow
what
before
What else
inserting
do we
again.
have here? No player-to-player trading. That was one thing that someone brought up as something they didn't like. Bruce?
Yes, please add it. Just add it. Just add it. I mean, this whole mail system, I mean, it's nice. You don't have to go to a mailbox or anything.
I love
but
the
say
birdies,
you're,
though.
I know.
When
I
you
know.
mail something,
I
the bird flies
too.
out of you, and then you see the bird go to the other person. I think that's great. So you know when
it
they
is
got your
awesome,
item.
But it's at the same point, though. I mean, if you talk to someone, it's like you're in a, say a pug 5-man, and hopefully the community will be a lot more trustworthy in this community than others. But I mean, are you really going to trust some guy you just met? It's like, oh, I got this sweet item that you might want, but I want something in return. I mean, I feel a lot of scamming is going to happen, especially early on. There's going to be a lot of scamming, and they're going to have to add some kind of trade system, even if it's a long-distance trade system or something. But I'm very weary. I don't trust people I don't know, and I probably never will. So, yeah, I know a lot of us guildies are going to be trading back and forth. No problem, not a big deal. If I
there's also
there's also
this downside of by accident sending it to the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but
They make it kind of easy, though.
there's fail
Look at the
safes. I mean,
person's
you
names
click
and
on
mail
someone
throw it
and
in
right click and mail. I mean, it's I don't know.
It's as streamlined as it can be without putting in a trading system, I would have to say.
Oh yeah, they did a good job with it. Especially everything's instant, everything's right there. It's just they need to take it one step farther and just add some form of trading, long distance, personal only. I mean, how hard is it to meet up in Lion's Arc and do a quick trade by the portals or something? I'm sure that's going to become a trading hub for a lot of people if they do implement it.
Lion's Arch probably, all the portals.
Yeah, I guarantee it that's going to become a big trading hub. And there's so many wide open areas where you could even, oh my god, how amazing would it be if they had specialty vendors that only appeared on certain days, and they had this whole flea market bartering system and around that stat. Oh my god, please, if you're reading this sounds awesome. I want this now.
Reading it?
I don't think they're gonna be reading it.
Watching, reading, whatever. Oh my god,
His
I'm
brain
just
is
thinking
so
in my
mess.
head now. It really is. But I'm just thinking, think of all the open zone areas where you could do some of these specialty vendor events, and maybe not make anything that's oh my god, you have to do this to get that one super amazing item, but novelty items, like fireworks and stuff of that sort, fun items.
Well, they kind of already have that.
Yeah, I know, but I want more of it.
No, I hear you. It's never a bad thing. I'm just saying they kind of already have some of that stuff. I mean, not necessarily vendors, but in off the beaten path, you get rewarded for finding things like that cave again. Tristan and I were in. We ended up
could
with
you imagine?
and that little boss.
Could you imagine if they brought the Final Fantasy XI calendar year style system of Monday through Sunday, and during certain times, and you have to do certain things at certain times to get certain things. Oh, sorry, my calculating mind just went crazy on the possibilities on that, so I'm just gonna come back in and let you guys talk again.
So there was there's a couple more things people brought up. There's not an overabundance of skills. Some people liked the fact that they had 1,000 billion skills, but I think
that's your thing.
I think Guild War 2
their
argument to that is combos and cross profession interaction. It's
weapon swapping,
multiple weapons, multiple skills,
changing utility, a lot of utility skills,
changing your traits on the fly. I mean, there's a million combinations of things you can do with your skills. I think people just haven't realized it yet. Because right when you log in, you're like 5 skills. That's it? Fuck. But that's not it.
Well, I can see the argument, though. I mean, look at, a mage or something in WoW, and I know we keep going back to it, but think of all the different specs, all the different abilities. Even if you weren't of that spec, you could still use that ability, and I do miss that kind of mentality of, oh my god, I do have 1,000 things, which means I always have something for every environment. So some people may see it as a limitation.
But I feel like you do get that still.
You do have to adapt to it.
You get something for every environment. You weapon swap or you...
Yes, but it becomes very, very difficult to manage it at all times. You do have to be able to predict later on, once you learn everything, you'll be able to be like, okay, for this zone, I'll need this certain weapon type, so I'll be able to have these abilities. But I think that's going to be a lot for some people to handle, and It's not going to be
Yeah.
the one cookie cutter spec is good for all environments, and that's the part where people are going to start having the issues. That's where people are going to be like, what's going on? And I see where some people are coming off of this, where you do have to adapt, you do have to learn, you do have to change your spec, you do have to change your weapons, you may have to change your armor to have this stat versus that stat for this environment. I think a lot of people are really just going to have to kind of take a step back, come at it with some kind of an analytical mind, at least for, some scenarios. You'll be able to get by a lot of times, but I think some people are going to find that wall. They're not going to know how to figure it out. They're going to get stuck, and they're going to get frustrated, and they're not going to know why. And I think that's going to be the deal breaker for some people. They won't know why that they're not being as good as they should be.
No, I can agree with that. I can agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So, good. I explained it right. Good. What a big circle on that one.
The other things are so minute, like, 8-person PvP matches versus 5 or 3 or 2. I mean, they balance the game for 8, so that's why there's no 5 or 3 or 2. But I get it. I mean, people are used to WoW's arena, and you know what, we've said it the whole time, and it's just rehashing everything we've said, is that it isn't WoW. That's the best way to describe it.
It's not arena, it isn't WoW.
I mean, as we're coming to the end here,
Right.
it's like, why beat on a dead horse? It isn't WoW. Try out what they have. If you really hate it, if people really hate it, they will probably add something that makes sense and people like. Because if people are not liking their game, it's not going to work out. Go ahead, talk.
But you're not going to hate it, so. No, you're not going to hate it. It's okay. That you just said if people are going to hate it. So
you think you will, but you're not going to hate it.
Yeah. Nah. You'll get over it real quick.
I mean, the only downside to it, I think, is that it's harder to organize a group of 8 than it is to organize a group of 5 or 3 or 2. Don't make that face. You know it is. You don't have friends. You have like the pig nose thing going on. You're like, I don't even know what you're doing. Your beard is starting to slowly inhale your camera. It's getting closer and closer as this podcast goes on.
Is this better?
Jeez.
Does this work?
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, I like the profile.
Yeah.
We should all just do that the whole time.
Just look out the
I
window.
have a big nose.
I do too. It's
I feel
okay.
like I'm looking the wrong way. All right, there we go.
Like that.
So,
Yes,
speaking
yes.
about the last thing here on the... I have to look,
Are you
though.
supposed to look that way?
Hold on. Okay, all right, we're good. Anyway.
Do podcasts backwards.
Pose.
Pose? Are we supposed to...
Strike a pose.
Believe it or
There
not,
you go.
other than there's no guild versus guild, which I think they're going to be addressing. There is no
Yeah, I think there's been talk
alliances,
of that.
which I think they're going to be addressing. I mean, they upped the cap of your guild to 500 people. What the fuck do you need an alliance for? How much
Why
more
the fuck do you need
insanity do
500
you
people?
need? Yeah, when do you ever need 500 guild members is the real question. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Matchmaking based on rank, I would like to see that. That's one of the things someone brought up.
Yes.
I'd like to see people's their skill based joining so that you can join with your team instead of having to join alone and being put up against your friends. So it'll look at your
I
rank
would
a
kind of
little
like
bit.
if sorry. I kind of would wish they added your rank to your name or something if you're in a structured, although that may cause some hazing. For, oh my god, that guy's only level 1. But, sorry, continue. My bad. I interrupted. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bad me. Sorry.
That's it, man. I mean, that's really it. Is there if anybody in the chat has any questions? I mean, now is the time that we would take them. We're running really long this time. So I'm gonna take like 3 questions, and then we're gonna move on. So, and I think we got one here. There are 8 classes and only 5 character slots.
Purchase character slots.
Yeah.
That's another. But I mean, I've been able to simplify my 5 choices to 5 choices. There are 3 classes. Well, there's 2 classes I definitely don't want to play. So I may purchase a 6th to have it. But I mean, you're gonna be investing a good chunk of time on one character. A lot of people are alcoholics, but yeah, people are altaholics. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm much more completionist than I am altaholic.
I
So
think here's my
you can
opinion.
do-
You're not paying a subscription for the game.
Again, yeah. I was just gonna
Drop the
mention that.
$15 that you would have dropped if you were paying the subscription, and get the 2 character slots. Problem solved.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put that much time into a game,
Yeah.
$15 is really not that much.
Yeah.
So
I'll end up doing it. I know I will.
Yeah, and you can always purchase gems with gold, so you can always technically buy it with in-game
yeah,
money.
I mean, if you played a lot, then you
So
could buy it
you
with
don't have-
in-game money.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So there's always that option.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I am not seeing any other questions here. We may have beaten this one to death. It is a dead motherfucker at this point.
Killed it.
I don't want to
People
talk
fall
about
asleep.
negativity again.
Well, no, you know what? We were all
weren't
sitting
that
here and we
bored,
were
were
trying
we?
to figure this out, and we were like, "Man, what do we talk about that's bad in the game?" And it's like it feels really good, and it's hard. That's why we moved this to right after, not being right after the beta, because we were really all very happy with playing.
Yeah.
So
We're
we
on a
really
high.
Yeah,
we
this
couldn't
was-
think of the stuff that would, we wanted to be objective.
We spent 3 weeks taking up topics and talking about it and thinking about it, and I mean, this is 3 weeks worth of thought process that we put into this one because it was very difficult to find up topics. I mean, we found
It's
all
really
the
hard.
things like, oh my god, fishing. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, fishing's not involved. That's 30 seconds. But it's.
I'll tell you
this
one
was
thing they
difficult.
could
This was
really
one of the most
improve.
difficult ones.
The guild interface.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially-
I don't
yes.
know what they were thinking when it came to the guild interface, but it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, that's also the difficulty of having accounts too. It's not just characters, but full accounts are being added to the
account.
guild. Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Where you'll see, you have the multi-tier, you have the current character, the person that it actually is, and then you have their skills off to the side, and oh my god, it's away, online, offline. Then they switch characters, and their whole thing changes, and the influence purchases. You can queue them, you can speed them up, but if you queue things up too fast, you wasted all your sorry, I'm getting analytical again.
They
But,
could definitely streamline it though.
Yes, they really could. I would love to see an upgrade. to
I think
guild
the
interface.
last
Maybe we will. Who
thing
knows?
that would definitely turn people off to this game is the fact that there is a cash shop. We didn't mention it, and
Yes
I
and
know
no,
I know
though.
why we didn't. I know why we didn't mention it. It's because there's no subscription fee. Regardless,
Yep.
the minute you say cash shop, the first thing that pops into your head is pay to win.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that popped into my head too when I first heard it.
Same.
But once you research it, and they were very open about what was going to be in the cash shop, and then you actually, I mean, I know some people out there watching might not have played the betas, but when you get in there and they had the cash shops open for the 2 of the beta weekends and the stress test, so you. Oh, was the first one? Okay. And you were able to, they gave you free gems, you were able to check it out and see what was on there and what were they offering and get a feel for it that it's not going to be pay to win. I mean, there's nothing up there that's going to give you a huge advantage over anyone that's going to make a game difference or whatever. So it's not
gonna
a
be
big
any
deal.
difference. Not going to be any
Yeah.
difference.
A lot
Not
of
just
cosmetics.
not a huge. Yeah, it's purely cosmetic. It's cosmetic and simplicity.
Well,
And
you're right. That's I was just
yeah.
thinking of XP boost when I said that. I mean, but it doesn't matter because
But
yeah,
there
doesn't
were
really
a lot
matter.
of people. Yeah, there were a lot of people complaining, like, "Oh my God, this guy's gonna get up to level 80 so much faster and be super amazing, uber powerful at 80 in World v World, and he's going to single-handedly take down castles because he's level 80 on the second day." And people need to remember skill versus gear, skill versus everything. Skill is going to win. There was a lot of people out there like, "Oh my God, level 80! Oh!" The only thing he really has is he has a few more abilities than you. He may have some upgraded gear, and he can access more zones. He'll have a marginal advantage for a short amount of time because you're going to get there not much later than he is. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my only argument
So,
against the XP.
it's not
Yeah.
basically, in short, it's not pay to win. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's cosmetics and utility things and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
That's the
if
closest to pay to win they have.
If you balance it out where if you like this game enough and you were willing to pay a subscription for it, then you will end up being able to buy the cool pirate outfit a month, the cool aesthetic pet a month,
Aviators.
whatever you want. Like you'll be able to if you balance out that money as if you're paying a subscription, you'll be able to get a couple cool things for yourself.
Quite a few cool things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want a pirate
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I didn't care for it.
Slutty pirate costume, by the way. Slutty pirate costume.
I bought the chef outfit, and I was a little sad about the hat, but that's about it. That's
Yeah,
my only gripe right now.
I didn't like the way the chef outfit looked.
Yeah.
But
Anyways.
anyway, so I mean that pretty much sums it up for us here at alttabme.com. This is our podcast about what we did not like about Guild Wars 2. Will it live up to the hype? Will it be a WoW killer? Will it blah 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 blah? Who gives a shit? Have fun, play the game, try it out yourself, listen to what we had to say. Maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. But for me, I tried the game. It fit my playstyle. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys can do the same thing too. If you need a guild, alttabme.com. Check it out. We're here to help. Good community, a lot of people that will be happy to answer questions and tell you about their gaming experience as well. Just as a reminder, we broadcast every Monday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern, and we are live at alttabme.com/live. You can post comments, questions on the forum topics for the podcast next week, and you can also talk in our stream, and we will take questions at the end of each podcast. On Wednesday, we then take that podcast and we publish it to the web in MP3 format and YouTube format. So check it out. Go to alttabme.com to get the details, and we will see you next week.